Hello there everyone, this is Jamie, welcome back to my channel, and today we're back with part 2 of Romanian Riches. And in this series we're going to take a look at what if the Romanian Football League have £1.4 billion invested into them each year. So each team gets £100 million each season, courtesy of a very large TV deal. Now we've already taken a look at the first 5 years, and to recap on that, basically the Romanian Football League dropped from 18th all the way down to 25th and then rose back up to 20th again with the application of money. And there's been a few interesting transfers, but there hasn't been anything too majorly untoward. Do check out the link in the description down below if you haven't already seen the first episode before you watch this one. And today we're going to take a look at the next 5 years into the future. So first of all, we're going to go a total of 7 years into the future. So we're going to be looking at 2024, which you can see on the screen now. And then we're going to go another 3 years ahead of that and just basically see if there's been any change, if the Romanian Football League will advance further up the competition reputation pyramid, and what sort of transfers and basically who's going to be winning the league. So let's get straight into it then, shall we? So the last time you joined us, it was Dinamo Bucharest who won the Romanian First League, or the Liga 1 as it is known. And the following season, the 22-23 season, went to CS Craiova, who managed to win a league title, though they did finish second in the league prior to that. Let's have a quick look at the Champions playoff. We can see here that they had a really good run in that Champions playoff. They won 8 games from 10, losing just 2, and they won it by 4 points over Timișoara. Cluj down in 3rd, Vital in 4th, Voluntari in 5th, and Dinamo Bucuresti in 6th. Now it's a very poor performance this time by FCSB, who sit down in 7th position with a poor season by their standards. However, then the next season, CFR Cluj managed to get their name back on the trophy with a solid performance throughout the season. They were top of the table by the end of the season, and it went into the Champions playoff and they managed to hold their form through that. They did manage to draw quite a few games though, and they did, thankfully. I mean, Vital did accrue the same amount of points, and they won and drew and lost the same amount of games, but Cluj had a big enough advantage to start with whilst heading into this Champions playoff. They managed to hold firm, beating Vital by 2 points. FCSB in 3rd on 38, Craiova in 4th. They didn't manage to retain their title. So let's go back into it then. We can see here that FCSB in 2nd, Vital 3rd, Polilazi and Hermannstadt both relegated to the 2nd league. Now let's go in, shall we, and have a look at the transfers. So we're going to go in first of all then, and you can see in the 22-23 season there was some really good business. Now the top bit of business arguably has to be Alberto Penaranda, who has been a really good player on FM17, and he's looking every inch as good here on FM18, and he's joined Dinamo Bucharest here from Watford, and he's played 58 games so far, scoring 19 goals. His stats are really good, and he's certainly going to help them in the Romanian league. Now Kenny Saif has joined American. He's now available as a free agent, but he did play 4 games for Dinamo Bucharest over 3 seasons. So arguably a poor bit of business that from Dinamo Bucuresti. Godfred Donsart moved from Brentford to CFR Cluj, and yeah, I'd say that's a good deal. 46 games played, 11 goals scored. Definitely has improved from the switch from Brentford. Now Simon Mignolet from Liverpool to Dinamo Bucharesti. He's now 36 years of age. Played 74 games, conceded 95. He's obviously towards the back end of his career now, but has done a solid job for Dinamo Bucharest since coming across. And then, you know, there's likes of Neil Malpay, Vladimir Stefanov, and various others there. Not really any particular names. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these are regens. Georgi Pushkash going from Cluj to Timișoara for 1.1 million. A decent bit of business there. He's played 23 games for Craiova, and I'm sure we could keep going all the way down, but we're not going to in this instance. And what we're going to do next is we're going to have a look at the next season, and we can see here that we have got a lot of players that I've never heard of, but one I have heard of is Alessandro Plizzari, who has moved from AC Milan to CS Craiova. and that is a really good signing for them. Now, bear in mind, AC Milan have got Gianluigi Donnarumma, so they were able to let him go, and these guys have picked him up quite cheaply, I reckon, because he's going to be such a big keeper for them in the future. He's still only 24 years of age, and he's certainly going to be one of their mainstays moving forward. Now, there's a South African regen there, Tefo Radebe, who's moved back to Shanghai, came across from AC Milan, I think it was, from Craiova to Shanghai. Yeah. So there is Kirill Despodov, moved into Bucharest from Shandong over in China. Cost quite a lot of money there, 9.5 million if I'm honest. Daniel Petrak, Croatian 22-year-old regen, looks quite solid, doesn't he really? CFR Cluj there with a good solid signing there with a view to the future. And he's won a little bit of silverware since coming across to, well, he did play briefly for Concordia Shajna, had a little spell with FCSB, but has moved to Cluj, and he's certainly doing a lot better. Dragos Krisan, 19-year-old Romanian. And there's a lot of others in there. Paul Lasek, 32-year-old attacking midfielder, now plays for Vitor, has played a lot of games for QPR prior to that. Before that was with the likes of Verona and Sampdoria. Again, you know, I think they can do better. Elmir Nabulin from Rubin Kazan came out to Craiova. He's now going to be on his way to Olympiakos. Rasmus Nissen from FCSB to CFR Cluj. Really good player, Rasmus Nissen. You can pick him up for a couple of million at the start of the game. Has won plenty of silverware with Midtjylland, and has also come and won some silverware with CFR Cluj, we can see here. So let's go and have a quick look at the profile of the Romanian league, and we can see here that we started off on the 2022 with the Romanian First League in 20th. It then rose to 14th in 2023 and has risen all the way up to 11th in 2024. So we've jumped 9 places in total, 7 from when we did actually begin this. So that is a really good jump up the reputation ladder for the Romanian First League, which is really good. It is now just behind the Belgian Pro League, the Russian Premier Division, the Eredivisie, and the Turkish Super League. We've risen ahead of the Austrian Premier Division, the Ukrainian Premier League, and the Lotto Extraklasse, amongst others. There's the German Second Division in there as well, and you know, various other divisions, the Sky Bet Championship and the Danish Super League. So the Romanian First League is really beginning to move upwards in the right kind of direction. Now let's have a quick look where Romania currently sit in 19th position in the European rankings, which is quite good, I reckon, in terms of the team. Now let's have a look at the list of clubs in terms of finances and see where, and the richest club in world football is FC Hermannstadt, who were relegated. And there's loads. Look at all these Romanian teams in here: Craiova, Astra Giurgiu, Sepsi, Politimosura, Voluntari, Vital, Dunărea Calerazi, Concordia Shajna, Juventus Bucuresti, Botoșani, CFR Cluj, Gazmetan, Medias, and then you get down to Sevilla, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid. Then there's another couple of Romanian teams, Juventus and AC Milan. Just a really good movement forward for these Romanian teams. Now, obviously, we are now going to go another 3 years into the future. But before we do that, let's go and have a look at the European kind of performances in the last couple of years that we've been in. So we'll go with Cluj first of all. We can see there was nothing done for them in that 22-23 season. 23-24 season, they got into the Europa Cup, managed to get through the group stages, but were knocked out by Burnley in the first knockout rounds, and that was the end of their European campaign. Let's have another look and see kind of who else was around that sort of area. FCSB are generally a good team to look at. They seem to do quite well in Europe. Now again, we'll look first of all. So they got through the playoffs. No, I don't think they did actually. So they went into the Europa League. They got through the first knockout round, beating Standard Liège. They were then knocked out by Porto in the second knockouts, and that was the end of their campaign for that season. And then there's nothing done in the most recent season. Let's have a look at Vital, see if they've done anything in Europe. Probably not, would be my guess. Nothing done there, certainly. And they got through the qualifying stages. They got through into the group stages of the Europa Cup. They got through to the knockouts, but they were beaten 3-0 in both legs by Leicester City, and that was the end of their European campaign. So they haven't broken through into Europe as yet. However, there is still time, so join me again in a moment when we'll be back another 3 years into the future on the 1st of July 2027, and we're going to take a look and see just what's happened in the Romanian League. Welcome back then, guys. We are now another 3 years into the future. We're on the 1st of July 2027, and we can see already that the Romanian First League has taken a further jump up the competition rankings into 7th, ahead of the Russian Premier Division, the Croatian First League, the Ukrainian Premier League, just below the Portuguese Premier League, League One and the Serie A. And you can see here that when you last joined us 3 years ago, we were sat in 11th. Since then, it's risen all the way up to 7th in 2025, which was a big jump, and has sat there for the last 2 years. So we've now moved 13 places in total during this experiment up the reputation pyramid, and it's a really good performance. And we can see here that Dinamo Bucuresti have won 2 of the last 3 leagues, along with CFR Cluj as well. So we're going to go in and have a quick look at that first of all, before we go any further. So this is where we start things off. So you can see here that Dinamo Bucuresti were the best team throughout the domestic league season. They took that form into the playoffs and won by 8 points over CFR Cluj. A really strong performance from Dinamo Bucuresti. Then CFR Cluj managed to get their own back. Dinamo Bucuresti were the best team during the domestic season, but once it got into the playoffs, it was CFR Cluj who managed to seal the points, winning 7 of their 10 games. Bucuresti kind of gave it away a little bit with 4 draws from their 10 games, definitely losing them points. But it was a solid performance from Cluj. And then after that, it was Dinamo Bucuresti who managed to wrestle it back, and both teams finished level pegging at the end of the domestic part. But the Champions playoff, the form swung vastly in the way of Dinamo Bucuresti, who won by 8 points over CFR Cluj. They managed to get 6 wins and 3 draws from their 10 games. A really good back end of the season for Dinamo Bucuresti there, and they managed to get another league title to add to their impressive haul of trophies. Now, we're going to kick things straight into the transfers because we don't want to drag this episode on for too long. So we can see then that the start off here, and we can see here that Vitaly Makushov was the most expensive player. A Ukrainian regen went from Shakhtar Donetsk to Polytimisoara for 17.25 million. Igor Zgrabic from Dinamo out to Vital, really solid midfielder, central midfielder, defensive as well, can double up in that. He's played 83 games for Vital, Croatian regen. Morten Thorsby from PSV to FCSB for a potential of £10 million, and he's played 33 games since coming across. A decent enough signing, obviously quite expensive there at the money they've paid for him. Dion Kouls has to be, no, he's not a regen, he's a Belgian 31-year-old right back basically, and he now plays for Red Bull Salzburg, so he's been sold on from CFR Cluj, and there's no reason to see why there. Per Schlers, decent enough player, plays for Vital, has had a spell at Concordia Shajna, and I can't really see too many players here that we know really, to be honest with you. There's obviously if you're Milot Rashika, 31-year-old Kosovan, really decent attacking midfielder, now plays for CEC. And so that was that for that season really. Next season it was Polytimisoara who spent the most again, and it was Brent Mtolo who came in from Shandong for potentially £27 million. He's a South African regen, he's a defender, and he's actually quite expensive for what they've paid, if I'm honest with you. Don't think he's worth anywhere near the money they've paid, but he's played 39 games for Polytimisoara, scoring the 1 goal. And there's Amin Kamas from Genk, a 28-year-old Moroccan, played a few games for them since coming over from Genk, but a decent squad player. And then we've got the likes of Thibaut Verlinden, Stoke, 27-year-old Belgian, now playing for Barnsley. Claude Ajapong, really good right back, come across from Sassuolo out to CFR Cluj, 4.2 million. Good signing that. Claude Ajapong develops into a really good player. And obviously the further we go down this list, the less that these players go for. So let's go into 26-27. We can see here that Andre Fernandez moved from Sporting to Astra Giurgiu. Big signing that for Astra Giurgiu, £23 million to get in Andre Fernandez, 19-year-old Portuguese. And although he will develop, I think they've spent quite a lot of money there on him. Moving forward, he's a right defender, so I'm sure he could do a decent job for them. Then there's Stefan Dornish from PSG, 23-year-old Austrian regen, valued at £19 million. Striker, I'm sure he'll do well for Dinamo Bucharest. Brian Limbombe, Belgian 26-year-old, decent enough player there indeed for Cluj. Ivan Gal from Concordia Shazna, 20-year-old Croatian, now plays for Politimosora, £10 million his valuation. And there's others like Giancarlo Costa, 27-year-old, valued at £18 million. Decent signing there, got him for £15 million. And David Coutinho, 14.25, you know, decent enough. Probably needs to improve a bit, really, to be honest, to get that kind of feedback. Wouter de Vries, PSG, 26-year-old Dutch regen. Dusan Kovacevic from Voluntari, Montenegrin regen again. And, you know, we kind of just go on. And that's kind of where we're at now this season, which has already happened. Obviously, we haven't really got into that part yet. So I'm going to leave it there for today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed part 2 of the Romanian Riches. And we're going to be back with another one closer to Christmas, just to see if we can get that Romanian First League further up the football pyramid. But I think it's been a good experiment so far. We're now 10 years into the future. There's a lot of regens coming through. And I want to try and see how the Romanian teams do in Europe. But we're going to save that for the next episode and see basically if any of them have made that breakthrough. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day today, guys. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. And I'll catch you again in the next one.